Today, we're building practical Spanish you can actually use when life gets busy. At work, while studying, when planning something, giving updates, asking for help, and sounding calm and capable even if inside your brain is juggling 12 tabs. Our focus is simple: useful Spanish for scheduling, planning, responsibilities, and polite collaboration. The big idea is this: in these situations, Spanish often sounds natural when you keep your message clear, direct, and polite. You do not need fancy business buzzwords. In fact, simple usually sounds stronger. Think of it like this: clear Spanish is professional Spanish. Let's start with a few high-frequency building blocks. One is tengo, I have. Another is necesito, I need. Another is puedo, I can. Another is hay que, which is like saying it's necessary to, or we need to in a general sense. And one more gem, quedar, which often means to arrange, agree on, or be left over depending on context. Very useful, slightly slippery, like soap in the shower, but useful. For scheduling, one of the most useful nouns is reunión, meeting. Listen, tengo una reunión, I have a meeting, very common. And for time, a las tres, at 3. Put it together, tengo una reunión a las tres, I have a meeting at 3. Tengo una reunión a las 3. Tengo una reunión a las 3. Good. Notice how compact that is. No extra words, no drama, just the facts. That's a pattern you can reuse. Tengo una clase a las 10. I have a class at 10. Tengo una entrega mañana. I have a deadline tomorrow. By the way, entrega can mean submission or delivery depending on context. If you're studying, una entrega is often an assignment you need to turn in. Now let's make scheduling flexible, because plans move, constantly. A very useful phrase is, ¿podemos moverlo para mañana? Can we move it to tomorrow? Moverlo literally means move it. The lo stands for the thing, the meeting, the call, the deadline, whatever is already understood. How do you say, can we move it to tomorrow in Spanish? ¿Podemos moverlo para mañana? ¿Podemos moverlo para mañana? Excellent. You can swap the last part easily. Para el lunes for Monday. Para más tarde for later. Para la próxima semana for next week. And here's a little memory trick. Para often points forward, toward a destination in time or purpose. So para mañana feels like pushing the plan toward tomorrow. Another phrase that makes you sound active and responsible is estoy trabajando en eso. I'm working on it. This is gold. It tells people you heard them, you're doing it, and they do not need to send 5 follow-up messages in 7 minutes. How do you say I'm working on it in Spanish? Estoy trabajando en eso. Estoy trabajando en eso. Perfect. You can also say, ya lo estoy revisando. I'm already reviewing it. Or, lo estoy preparando. I'm preparing it. That little lo, again, means it. In real conversation, Spanish loves these small object words. They make you sound natural. Now, if you're delayed, don't disappear like a mysterious poet. Communicate. A strong phrase is, necesito más tiempo. I need more time. Simple, honest, useful. How do you say I need more time in Spanish? Necesito más tiempo. Necesito más tiempo. Nice. If you want to soften it a little, add para before the task. Necesito más tiempo para terminarlo. I need more time to finish it. That para plus infinitive pattern is incredibly common. Para revisarlo, to review it. Para prepararlo, to prepare it. Para entenderlo mejor, to understand it better. Let's add planning language. One of the best phrases for collaboration is, hagamos un plan. Let's make a plan. This comes from hacer, to do or make. Hagamos is one of those forms that sounds proactive and friendly at the same time. How do you say, let's make a plan in Spanish? Hagamos un plan. Hagamos un plan. Great, you can build on that. Hagamos una lista. Let's make a list. Hagamos una pausa. Let's take a break. Hagamos eso primero. Let's do that first. Here's a very practical pattern for sounding organized. Primero, luego, después, al final. First, then, after that, at the end. These are your roadmap words. If your Spanish sentence feels messy, these words create order fast. For example, primero reviso el documento, luego hago los cambios, después lo envío. First, I review the document, then I make the changes. After that, I send it. How do you say first I review the document in Spanish? Primero, reviso el documento. Primero, reviso el documento. Well done. Reviso is from revisar, to review or check. Very useful in both study and work contexts. Now let's talk about responsibilities. A common phrase is, me encargo de eso. I'll take care of that. Or I'm in charge of that. Literally, I take responsibility for that. This is one of those phrases that makes you sound dependable immediately. How do you say I'll take care of that in Spanish? Me encargo de eso. Me encargo de eso. Excellent. And if you need to ask someone else, you can say, te encargas de eso. Will you take care of that? Notice that encargarse de always needs de. That little de is not optional. Tiny word, big job. Another strong phrase is queda pendiente. It remains pending. This is very common for unfinished tasks. For example, eso queda pendiente para mañana. That remains pending for tomorrow. Also useful is falta, which means what's left or what's still needed. Falta revisar una parte. One part still needs to be reviewed. Now politeness. In English, we often soften with could, just, maybe. Spanish also has nice softeners. Por favor, of course, but also cuando puedas, when you can. Si te parece, if that works for you. And te va bien, does that work for you? These keep you collaborative without sounding weak. For example, ¿lo puedes revisar hoy, cuando puedas? Can you review it today, when you can? Or, si te parece, lo comentamos mañana. If that works for you, we'll discuss it tomorrow. Very natural, very human. How do you say, does tomorrow work for you? ¿Te va bien mañana? ¿Te va bien mañana? Good. A related phrase is, te viene bien, also common in Spain, but te va bien is broadly useful and easy to remember. Now updates. You often need to explain status. Here are 3 levels. Ya está listo. It's ready. Todavía no está listo. It's not ready yet. And casi está. It's almost done. Short, useful, efficient. If you want to sound a little more polished, ya terminé la primera parte. I already finished the first part. Todavía me falta revisar los detalles. I still need to review the details. How do you say, it's almost done in Spanish? Casi está. Casi está. Nice. Short phrases like that are powerful because they are easy to say under pressure. Let's make this feel more real with a mini story. First, just listen to the whole thing in Spanish. Mañana tengo una reunión importante a las 9. Antes de la reunión, quiero revisar mis notas y terminar una presentación. Un compañero me escribe y me pregunta si podemos mover la llamada para más tarde. Le respondo que sí, pero que necesito más tiempo para preparar algunos detalles. Al final, hacemos un plan claro y cada persona se encarga de una tarea. Así todo queda organizado y llegamos mejor preparados. Now let's go line by line. Mañana tengo una reunión importante a las 9. Tomorrow I have an important meeting at 9. Antes de la reunión, quiero revisar mis notas y terminar una presentación. Before the meeting, I want to review my notes and finish a presentation. Un compañero me escribe y me pregunta si podemos mover la llamada para más tarde. A coworker writes to me and asks if we can move the call to later. Le respondo que sí, pero que necesito más tiempo para preparar algunos detalles. I answer that yes, but that I need more time to prepare some details. Al final, hacemos un plan claro y cada persona se encarga de una tarea. In the end, we make a clear plan and each person takes care of one task. Así todo queda organizado y llegamos mejor preparados. That way, everything stays organized and we arrive better prepared. That story gives you a very reusable model. Schedule, preparation, change, update, plan, responsibility. That's the rhythm of real work and study communication. Now let's notice a few patterns that make Spanish sound smooth. 1. Use present tense a lot, even for near future plans. Mañana tengo una reunión. Tomorrow I have a meeting. Spanish often uses the present this way, just like English sometimes does. 2. Use irá only when it really helps. Voy a revisarlo, I'm going to review it, is fine, but sometimes reviso eso esta tarde sounds more direct and more natural. 3. Object words matter. Lo reviso, I review it. La preparo, I prepare it if the thing is feminine like la presentación. If you keep repeating the noun every time, it can sound heavy. Spanish likes these shortcuts. Common mistakes? Let's fix a few. One mistake is translating too literally from English and saying something awkward like, estoy trabajando on it. In Spanish, it's en eso, not on it. Estoy trabajando en eso. Another is overusing necesito with a noun when a verb would sound cleaner. Instead of necesito una revisión de esto in some cases, you may simply want necesito revisarlo, I need to review it. Another common issue, sounding too blunt when asking people for things. Instead of manda eso hoy, send that today, try me lo puedes mandar hoy, can you send it to me today? Or, if you want softer, me lo puedes mandar hoy, por favor? Tiny changes. Can you send it to me today? In Spanish is me lo puedes mandar hoy? ¿Me lo puedes mandar hoy? ¿Me lo puedes mandar hoy? Excellent. Me lo es to me it? These double little words can feel strange at first, but they are very common. One more practical area, agreeing and confirming. You can say perfecto, de acuerdo, sounds good. Claro, of course. Tiene sentido, that makes sense. And entonces quedamos así. So that's the plan then. That last one is especially useful after making arrangements. How do you say, so that's the plan then, in Spanish? Entonces quedamos así. Entonces quedamos así. Very good. Quedamos here means we agree on this arrangement. Same verb as in other contexts, but now with the meaning of settling a plan. Super common. Let's do a quick spoken flow together. Listen and repeat in your mind if you can. Tengo una reunión a las 3. ¿Te va bien mañana? Estoy trabajando en eso. Necesito más tiempo. Hagamos un plan. Me encargo de eso. Casi está. Entonces quedamos así. That sequence alone can carry you through a surprising number of real conversations. And here's a memory shortcut. Think of professional Spanish in 5 moves. 1. Timing. Tengo una reunión mañana a las 3. 2. Status. Estoy trabajando en eso. Casi está. 3. Need. Necesito más tiempo. 4. Teamwork. Hagamos un plan. Me encargo de eso. 5. Confirmation. ¿Te va bien? Entonces quedamos así. If you remember those 5 moves, you'll sound organized and natural. Before we finish, one last moment. How do you say I need to finish this today in Spanish? Necesito terminar esto hoy. Necesito terminar esto hoy. And how do you say we can talk tomorrow in Spanish? Podemos hablar mañana. Podemos hablar mañana. Perfect. You're not just collecting vocabulary here. You're building a way of speaking. Clear, calm, useful Spanish that works in real life. So let's recap. Today you practiced practical Spanish for work, study, and goal-oriented communication. The key idea was to keep your Spanish clear, direct, and polite. You learned strong everyday phrases for scheduling, moving plans, giving updates, asking for time, making plans, taking responsibility, and confirming arrangements. And you saw that small words like lo, la, me, and de help your Spanish sound much more natural. Keep returning to the core phrases. Tengo una reunión. ¿Podemos moverlo? Estoy trabajando en eso. Necesito más tiempo. Hagamos un plan. Me encargo de eso. ¿Te va bien? Entonces quedamos así. Repeat them enough times and they'll start showing up exactly when you need them. You're doing something important, learning to sound capable in another language. That takes practice, but you are absolutely getting there. Poco a poco, step by step, your Spanish becomes more useful, more flexible, and more yours.